Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Alyssa, and I am here with another episode of Cleat Beat, the women's soccer show where I try and share as much women's soccer news as I can. Let's get started with a specialty U.S. women's national team episode. All right, the U.S. women's national team launched their April roster, and I think before we dive in, I want to talk a little bit about the format for the April camp. Emma Hayes called in 24 players for the camp that lead into two games against Brazil, which is a repeat of the gold match from the 2024 Olympic finals. No pressure, especially after we lost to Japan in the She Believes. Now, we will also see the U23s running side by side with the senior team, which is pretty interesting. It features 18 pros and 4 who have experience with the senior national team, such as Olivia Moultrie, who replaced Giselle Thompson on the U23s, and Giselle Thompson, who is replacing Tierna Davidson on the senior team due to an ACL injury that she got in a game for Gotham. Kind of crazy. Hayes has made it clear that she's really focusing on this age group and what it means to wear this crest. Now, the U23 camp is going to be led by Lisa Cole, who is the lead women's national team player pathway scout for Emma Hayes. And Cole recently said, with both the U23 and women national team camps happening at the same time at the same training site, both coaching staffs can observe both sets of players. Everyone can get a close-up look at what these camps are like and really feel what is needed to perform at the international level. It's a great opportunity for the players and the coaches. Huge return for Trinity Rodman. 1/3 of our Triple Espresso is back. Trinity Rodman amazed us all. If you watch the NWSL, you've seen her do spins, and just amazing work. But in the 2024 Paris Olympics, I will say on a national stage, I feel like everyone finally got a taste of what Trinity Rodman can do. She even was part of the nickname Triple Espresso with Soph Wilson and Mal Swanson. But now we see Wilson out for maternity leave. Congrats, Soph. And Swanson out for personal reasons. Hope you're doing okay. But Trin also is not 100%. Let's get into it. Now, Trin is not 100%, and that's due to a back injury. Trinity Rodman gave an interview where she clearly stated that her back may not ever be 100% again. She is only 22, and she has dealt with several back spasms and related issues since her rookie season with the Spirit. That's the Washington Spirit, part of the NWSL. And she aggravated the injury in September of 2024 when she was taken off the field in a wheelchair against the Kansas City Current. It was rough. Rodman said, "It's kind of an issue that it's not one specific thing. It's just the way that my back is structured. And it's more so management than a curable fix. So I think we've managed it really well, and I'm happy with the progression that we've had. But for me, I don't think my back will ever be the way it was my rookie year, which is unfortunate." Trin, as someone who is disabled and has lots of body pain, I feel for you. Back pain is so painful. I mean, so you realize how much your back is required to function. So when you're injured, obviously a national team, well, at least the US women's national team is probably one of the best teams to be on, right? They have lots of protocols, but ultimately, are they going to spend a lot of time rehabbing one player when it may be a chronic issue? I'm not sure. Now, kind of, I guess your career long term, there's minute management, which we see in the NWSL for Rodman. She hasn't played a full 90-minute game. I mean, we were only a couple of games into the season, but that's also an option. There's early treatment, warm-ups, conditioning, and those are all preventative. But what do you do when you have an ongoing injury that flares up? If you've ever had a back injury, you know that you could bend over the wrong way and it could kink up an injury. The same with other muscular sort of spasms. I'm not really sure what happens. I mean, athletes have lots of physical therapy. at least pro athletes in the USA often have lots of physical therapy, can often do it up to 2 to 3 times a day. You see this with a lot of recovery in ACL injuries. It's one of the reasons that people are able to return a year or so later, like Mia Fishel, who just returned after 13 months. Congrats, Mia. Um, but you need specialized equipment, you need specialty trained PTs. And then also, you got to get your mind right. So let's talk a little bit about mindset. Fear of re injury after a sports injury is probably one of the biggest barriers, I think, because rehab is a lot of physical, but it's also a lot of mental. And you see this sort of in the resiliency of players like Kristen Press, who recently returned after, I don't know, like 4 surgeries, which is unheard of because you get a surgery, then you have to heal from the surgery to then rehab it. And then she went into more surgeries after that and repeated that process for years to get better and get back on the pitch. And part of that is mentality, part of that is genetics and just the way you heal. But like her attitude also was what helped her get there. I don't know. I think incorporating principles of psychology is really important, informed practice. And I mean, I guess for Trin, I'm hoping she is a really good sports psychologist. Back injuries are really tough. You use your back every day. And I hope that she has the confidence and the belief in herself to push herself as far as she needs to go and as far as she wants to go. I think there is also a culture of pushing yourself beyond. We see this with several players taking mental health breaks right now in the NWSL, and I think healing is essential. Okay, so what does that mean for the current state of the U.S. women's national team? We have Swanson out, we have Wilson out. We may not see Triple Espresso together for over a year, and I think the U.S. women's national team fans have to bear with the team as we grow through growing pains. We don't hold any grudges here at Cleat Beat against people taking time or having babies or being injured. We support you guys. So healing is essential. But like, what does this mean for our attacking front line? Who are going to be our finishers? That's where Emma Hayes kind of came in. We have some new, shiny, exciting names. We get to focus on building up talent and making splashes in terms of who will be featured. And our bench is deep. Like when you do a sub and then all of a sudden Lynn Biondolo comes on halfway through, that's a finisher. You know, if you're looking as the opposing team, you're going, gosh, I really wish they weren't able to draw so much from their bench. And that is a strength of the U.S. women's national team. Let's talk about some notable call-ups and those who were left out. So Korbin Albert is back again. I would really like a straight-on explanation as to why she's been called up again and why she keeps getting called up. So Emma, if you're watching, if you could just clarify that for those who are interested. I think as part of the LGBTQ plus community, it definitely is hard for me to want to root for her, especially with everything that came up. Representing the U.S. women's national team means representing the United States of America, and that means everybody. Yeah, including the queers. Deal with it. And if you don't like that, then maybe you shouldn't wear the crest. Another name that we honestly cannot believe has not been called up is Casey Krueger, especially with the injury to Tierna Davidson, where, you know, her ACL was torn in her left knee. So why would Emma Hayes tell Casey Krueger that she is no longer going to be called up for the U.S. women's national team? Krueger is an outstanding player. Naomi Girma is injured and not returning. It would be nice to have some veteran leadership, I think, on the back line, especially since Becky Sauerbrunn has retired. Now, we do have a good call-up that I'm really excited about is Alana Cook, who is on the 2023 World Cup roster, and we haven't seen her since. It was a tough time for the US. Let's not talk about it. But I'm excited to see Alana Cook get that call up again. She plays for Kansas City Current right now and is hot, hot, hot. I mean, they look great. And then we see Giselle Thompson stepping up to replace Tierna Davidson, which means Olivia Moultrie gets called up to the U23s. So a lot of names that we are quite familiar with. What is this going to look like against Brazil? I don't know. Brazil's a tough team. They're really outstanding. They're fun to watch, and they do not give up. I think this is going to be an interesting week for the camps. I think it's going to be an interesting time facing Brazil again. And I'm excited to debrief once these games are concluded, and we see some footage of what's going on in the footy. That's it for this week's Cleat Beat. Let me know, do you think we're going to win against Brazil? After our loss against Japan, I'm feeling a little hesitant to root for the USA. Am I a fickle fan? Nah. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you next time.